Hey guys, Gina here. Today I wanted to point out the fact that there's always a beer bottle on my end table when I'm doing a video. That's not what I'm here for. Today I am here to go over why you might not be losing weight on the keto diet or while using exogenous ketones. Most people make the switch over to keto or they incorporate exogenous ketones with the hopes to lose weight. And while that is typically an amazing benefit, it's not really what the ketogenic diet or exogenous ketones are used for. It's not their main purpose, but it's very possible, and a lot of people do lose a ton of weight following the ketogenic diet. Once your body switches from that using glucose for fuel to using fat for fuel, it can make you see like huge loss right from the get-go. A lot of that initial loss is going to be water weight. And so people think like, oh my God, this is amazing. I just lost a ton of weight starting this diet. I'm going to keep going, see how much I can lose. And then they sort of hit a plateau, which is not totally unusual. It's actually pretty common because like I said, that initial loss is typically water weight for the most part. Part of the reason that I think some people struggle to lose weight with the ketogenic diet and or the exogenous ketones is that they hear, eat fat for fuel. And they think that means go like balls out and eat all the fat you can find. Well, that's not quite the case. You do want to fuel your body with fats, but you do need to limit them to an extent. You can't just be eating all day long non-stop fats and stuff like that and think that you're going to see a loss. You do want 70% of your calories to come from fats. That is true. But when you got to focus on how much are you eating throughout the day? Are you constantly eating and constantly snacking? Even if it is keto-friendly foods, if you're having too much of it, it's still going to have an adverse effect. Like any other way of eating or any other diet, if you're having too much of something, you're not going to see the results. So I know before I switched over to the keto-ish lifestyle with the exogenous ketones, I was snacking all day long. Every time, every 2 or 3 hours when my insulin levels kind of crashed, I was hungry and I'd go snack. And part of that can be habit, even when you switch to the keto diet. A lot of that can be habit, and you still are just so used to eating every couple hours that you find yourself finding something to eat, like snack on some cheese or an avocado or whatever it may be, but you're constantly still having these snacks, even though your body doesn't need it, even though your body's not telling you that you're hungry. So you have to be mindful of how much you're eating throughout the day, how often you're eating throughout the day. Are you actually hungry, or is it just out of habit? If you find that you are eating more than about 3 times a day, you need to up what you're eating at those meals. Eat a little bit more. You shouldn't be hungry throughout the day. You shouldn't be constantly hungry because those fats that you're eating should be filling you up and keeping you satisfied for a longer amount of time. You should also be drinking a ton of water throughout the day, which, as we know, while doing the ketogenic diet or drinking the ketones, water is so important and can literally be the difference between being successful and not being successful. But water intake is also going to help you to stay full longer or to feel fuller longer. So it's important that you're drinking plenty of water throughout the day. So if you find yourself reaching for a random snack in between meals or when you shouldn't really be hungry, grab some water instead and see if that kind of holds you off for a little bit. Okay, the next problem or possible problem could be that you're eating too many calories. And one of the good things about keto is you don't necessarily have to track your calories. It's not like one of those diets that is focused on your calorie intake. It's more about how you feel and when you're hungry, when your body's telling you you're hungry to fuel it. But once you get past that initial weight loss and you're finding yourself not losing any more weight, you might want to go back and kind of see how many calories you are taking in each day. And again, an app is really great for something like that. You can track all your food, whether it be the Carb Manager or MyFitnessPal. Those are great for kind of showing you how many calories you're having throughout the day. If you are finding yourself having an obscene amount of calories, that could be part of the problem. You might just be taking in too many calories throughout the day. So it's not allowing your body to lose that weight. It's keeping you at a level weight, or maybe you're gaining a couple pounds, but you're not losing. So I would check into the number of calories that you're consuming every day. And if it seems to be a really large number of calories, you might want to kind of switch some things out, some lower calorie foods instead of some of the higher calorie foods where you can, and just kind of be a little more cautious of how many calories you're taking in. Okay. This is a big one, and this one I see happen quite often, is that you're giving too much credit to the scale. You are focusing too much on what the scale is saying, and with a ketogenic diet, you very well might not be losing pounds, but you could be losing inches. Just because the number on the scale isn't changing doesn't mean that your body's not changing. With the ketogenic diet, it's very likely that you can be completely changing your body composition, but the number on the scale might stay the same, or it might not move as much as you want it to, and you think you've hit a plateau, when in reality, you've dropped maybe 2 pant sizes, but you're not focusing on that. You're focusing on that scale number again. So to you, you're not losing weight, or your body's not changing. Instead of focusing on the scale, focus on how you feel. If you took measurements in the beginning, check your measurements, because I've seen a lot of people lose a good number of inches, but the number on the scale stays the same. When you're burning fat for fuel, your muscles you have a higher rate of muscle preservation. So while you might be toning and building more muscle while you're losing that fat, that could very well cause the scale to stay the same. So instead of, giving all the credit to the scale and putting, what you think your results are based off of that number, get rid of the scale, or don't step on the scale for a while and see if you notice changes elsewhere. Because a lot of times, like I said, your body is changing, but that number on the scale might not. Okay, and last but not least, another reason why you might be struggling with losing weight is having too many cheat meals. And this is something that I learned the hard way. I kind of had it in my head that since I do so well and I drink the exogenous ketones, like, I can have as many cheat meals as I want, right? Because they don't really count. That's not really the case, because I would find myself kind of having little cheats here and little cheats there, and then I'd have a big cheat meal here and a big cheat meal there. And it just ended up being too many cheat meals, so that I wasn't allowing myself to get where I wanted to be. So be mindful of your little cheats here and there. Be mindful of your big cheat meals too. I'm not saying not to have them, because we all need a cheat meal every once in a while to survive, right? But just be mindful of how many you are having. And if you're having trouble losing weight, maybe eliminate those cheat meals for a little while, or those little cheats, and just kind of focus on, where you want to be, and focus on the things that you can eat and you should be eating. And maybe once you hit that goal that you're trying to reach, then maybe reward yourself with a cheat meal. Don't, continue on with it, because then you're going to find yourself right back at square one. But be mindful of your cheat meals. Cut them down maybe to one a week, or one every couple weeks, or whatever you think it'll take to help you to get to where you want to be. All right, guys, so I hope that you found those tips helpful. If you are struggling with losing weight with the keto diet, or with doing the exogenous ketones, maybe try taking some of those tips and putting them to use, see if that works for you. Again, thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed yet, then make sure you do, because I'm going to be coming up with a ton more tips and recipes and all kinds of keto goodness coming your way.